or worse, signalers. June's gut tightened. One of them paused, looked directly at her hiding spot. She, she ducked instantly, breath caught in her throat. Detection probability 78%, said the assistant. Shut up. She waited. Silence. Then footsteps. Crunching gravel, getting closer. With one swift move, June yanked open the top hatch of Rollo, slipped inside and sealed it. The trike's walls darkened instantly, the windows becoming one-way mirrors. Inside, the temperature rose fast. She powered down the external lights and whispered, "Quiet mode." Confirmed. The cockpit fell into silence. All systems dropped to low power. Her ears rang in the stillness. She watched through the scope of her pistol as the first figure came into view. Thin, wiry, a tangle of copper wires hung from his neck like trophies. He had goggles strapped to his forehead and wore a vest made of circuit boards and old LCDs. Definitely a signaler. The second one was bigger, a woman. She had a drone mounted on her shoulder like a mechanical bird, its wings twitching with residual static. Her eyes glowed faintly blue, cybernetic, probably linked to a mesh net. They scanned the wreckage. The man raised a hand, pointed. June's stomach turned to ice. The woman took a step forward and paused. Then both of them turned. Something had beeped. In the distance, a shrill, pulsing tone, then silence. The signalers exchanged a look and retreated, heading toward the sound. June exhaled slowly. "Threat has moved beyond detection range," said the assistant. "Good. Power up." Rollo came back to life, screens flickering on, and dials recalibrating. The trike rolled forward again, this time more cautiously. She skirted the overpass, taking the west detour she'd hoped to avoid. It cost her an extra hour and burned more battery, but she didn't want to tangle with signalers. Not out here. By nightfall, the sky turned bruised purple. June parked Rollo beneath a skeletal billboard that once advertised soda. Now it was just rust and faded vinyl. She set up the defense mesh around the trike, a faint shimmer of blue lines humming in the dark, enough to ward off scavenger bots and keep bugs from crawling into her food stores. She sat inside the dome, spooning cold lentil paste from a can. The assistant piped up again. "Incoming signal, low band, scrambled. Source, unknown. Signal origin is consistent with beacon type 2. Her hand froze. Type 2 beacons were old. Government issue from back when things still had governments. That meant either someone had found a relic or someone had activated an emergency transponder. She tapped the control pad and brought the signal up on the main screen. It was weak, garbled, but definitely human. A ground, not safe, need us, static. She leaned forward. Track it. Estimating triangulation. Please stand by. June wiped a smear of the wind rolled through the scorched valley, a dry breath across rusted metal and broken glass. Cracks webbed the blacktop highway like ancient veins, running straight into the horizon where the sun smeared itself across the sky like a bleeding wound. A lone figure pedaled through the shimmering heat, weaving silently between the bones of abandoned cars and fractured billboards. Her name was June. She rode a strange, clunky machine. 3 fat, rugged wheels mounted beneath a frame cobbled together from old camper parts, solar panels, and bicycle bones. The front housed a small cockpit, and behind her was a collapsible dome of polyglass, shielding a cramped living space. Dust clung to everything, like memory. "Battery at 40%, chirped the onboard assistant, a voice that sounded permanently cheerful, no matter how dire the situation. "Log it," June replied, not breaking stride. Her legs pumped rhythmically. One pedal squeaked with each rotation, but she'd grown used to it. "Logged. Would you like a hydration reminder?" "No." She drunk her last half-liter 2 hours ago. The trike, a Frankenstein beast named Rollo, lurched slightly as it climbed a ridge. Solar arrays blinked and whirred on top, unfolding and retracting like metal dragonflies depending on the angle of the sun. At night, the panels curled inward to form a shield against dust storms, or worse. The map displayed on her cracked heads-up lens flickered. "Next checkpoint in 17.4 kilometers, the assistant said. "Route status?" "Unknown. Satellite coverage is degraded. Last drone scan was 30 hours ago. Expect debris." She cursed softly, and narrowed her eyes. The goggles auto-adjusted for light. The terrain ahead was all bleached concrete and twisted steel. An old overpass had collapsed long ago, making the road ahead an uneven scar. She'd have to cross it slowly or detour west, and she couldn't afford to waste time or power. She steered Rollo forward and muttered, "Let's do this." Every bump in the road jostled the supplies stacked in Rollo's cargo bay. June winced when she heard the scrape of aluminum. That was her food canister. If anything was punctured, something moved ahead. A flicker. Not a shimmer of heat, but a movement. She jerked the handlebars slightly, and the trike rolled to a stop. Dust settled around her. Her hand slid toward the side hatch, fingers brushing the grip of her old coil pistol. Zoom! Click! Her goggles magnified the horizon. There, a person. No, two. Figures in long coats, walking slowly down the road like ghosts. She stayed still. They hadn't seen her yet. "Recommend avoidance," chirped the assistant. "No kidding," she whispered. She shifted into reverse, moving the trike as quietly as possible behind the wreck of an old truck. Peering through a hole in the rusted door, she watched the figures draw closer. They moved strangely, not with the aimless shuffle of drifters or the measured pace of scavengers. They were alert, coordinated. Mercs,